Can she hear us now? Hold on, sorry guys, we got a little technical difficulty.
That's so weird.
No, that's not it. Check, 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 check.
Did you actually adjust anything?
Turn this up to see.
Maybe. Oh, see now, see. What did you do? What'd you press?
I turned this one up.
Oh, that was down.
Yeah, I think this is the.
VJ.
You fiddled this one. I ain't touched
No, I didn't. No, this has to be down. This has to be up. But this is your job. I'm not looking at this. Anywho, okay. So quick restart. So it's Making Moguls, and unfortunately, we was talking for like 10, 15 minutes just now, and y'all couldn't hear us.
Wow.
But we got it together.
Yeah.
Sorry to our listeners. Hopefully you're still here. You want to recap real quick your small one?
Okay.
Real quick?
Well, no, yeah, recap yours first because mine's kind of longer than that.
Okay. Well, don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the whole thing.
Short recap. Yeah. So, quick recap. Our intern started this. Started last week. So small win for me was being able to kind of, work with a couple dope young ladies and make things happen. I'm hoping to be a part of them, them kind of honing in on some skills and learning some things so that they can, do good in their next project. So, definitely big shout out to Tesha, who is our Making Moguls intern, who told us that, right, making sure backstage that things is happening properly, because wouldn't have known that VJ was like, no, I'm kidding.
Hey, damn. Throw me under the bus.
Wouldn't have known that y'all couldn't hear us, but yes, so that's my small win for the week.
My small win is things went bad in Vegas, but I fixed it. And I rented a Mustang. Yeah, me as a little kid always wanted to own a Mustang, so I finally got to drive one, and then now, makes it a little bit closer to getting that Mustang. But I'm not buying a Mustang out here. It would be ridiculous. I would waste so much gas.
I know a couple people that have Mustangs out here, and it's just like
mad
pointless.
Gas, mad gas. The muscle cars take mad gas.
It really does.
Takes
but
mad gas, and we're in a recession. It's not.
Facts, and it's just gonna get worse. But yeah, so today's show is about lessons. Okay, we're in seasons of failure, and we felt like today was a good day, being that we don't have a guest on air today, to just talk about how to prepare for failing, because it is a big part of success. So go back into what you were saying, VJ.
Okay, so first I wanted to define what we want to consider failure in the terms of this conversation, because I do believe truthfully that there's no such thing as failure until you quit. Because quitting is the ultimate failure, because you don't try again. And what we defined here as the failures we're talking about is like things that didn't go your way, things that didn't receive the desired outcome in that moment. And the whole conversation that I want to have around that is framed around the fact that it is just that. It is just a moment. It is a moment where things didn't go your way, where you might have lost some money, where you might have lost a connection. But it is just that, a moment, because both of us here can go on for longer than we have time on the amount of failures that we've had to overcome, to experience, to get through. And it takes learning how to fail well. It takes learning how to move through it. And it takes learning how to benefit from it, because every lesson that you can learn in those failures sets you up to never fail in that way again.
Good point.
And a lot of people, like, you know, they fear fail. You know what it is? I realize this. They fear failure because failure to them is synonymous with trouble.
Yeah.
And as a kid, we don't want to get in trouble. You know,
Right.
the biggest thing that happened to us is trouble. Like, what would if somebody found out, and then now you're in the hot seat and some kind of punishment is doled out to you. And so we approach fear in that same way, like, oh, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't, like, we're afraid of it.
Right.
But, like, failure doesn't feel like that. Like, the real failure is feel like, it's a lot worse, first and foremost, like, because you really got to see and look at the books and look at whatever it is and eat the bullet and take whatever consequence it is, whether it be paying the extra money that you don't have or losing the investment that you put in or whatever it is that you put into that. You got to swallow that bullet. You got to just swallow that bullet and do whatever it takes to clean that slate and walk away from that, because part of failure is accepting responsibility in it. Whether it be losing money on a venue, whether it be a bad investment, whether it be time wasted, whether it is, when you got, the first thing is recognizing the failure, recognizing what it is and being like, yo, all right, that happened. We're going to accept it. And a lot of people don't even want to start there. You know, they're afraid to, like, face whatever it is. I don't want to do it. I don't want to try, because if it doesn't work, then what? But, like, again, that's just a moment. Like, it's a moment. Like,
it is.
It happens.
People just have to get comfortable with the understanding that you're going to fail.
Yeah.
It may not be all, it's not going to be all the time.
Yeah.
Some things will go right. But I think that when we discuss success, you have to discuss failure at the same time, because it's one of those things where, so for example, when I plan an event, especially celebs and fashion, when I plan an event, you always plan for exactly what you want to happen. But a great event planner, event coordinator, promoter knows that you have to plan for when things go wrong as well. You're not going to know exactly what's going to go wrong, and you hope that, 95% of the event goes perfect. But you know that 5% is there, that it's possible that you're going to have a problem. So having backups. Oh, I know that I booked this DJ, but I know that one time, maybe 2 times in the past, I've booked them before and they didn't show up, or they showed up super late.
Or something
you
happened.
have a backup.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that, I love this host, is the greatest host that I've ever booked before at one of my events. Or, oh, I heard such great things about this person. Have somebody on standby anyway, just in case. You have to really think about, like, for my fashion shows, the designers, all of the designers never show up. There's always at least one that doesn't show up. And then a majority of the ones that do show up late.
Same with artists. Every single show, I've now come to accept that every time I show a show with artists, not everyone will show up on time.
Correct.
Not everyone will show up on time. And in fact, even worse, the people that you want to put on first is always going to be the people that's never going to show up on time.
Yes. Don't
Redo
your run of show.
Yeah, don't do your run of show. Like, you can have your outline, you know who you want to go. But
and
again,
as they come in, you plug them in.
Yep. High five for that. 'Cause that's really shit like that, man. Again, I've had shows where I book an artist and people is there to see them, and now they're not running. They running on time, or they running late, or stuff like that. And now you gotta deal
and then they wind up having to go last or close to last, and they people been there since the beginning of the show.
And now everybody's frustrated.
Oh man.
Yep.
And it's not easy to deal with. You have to be adaptable in business. You have to.
That's the first lesson I learned about failure, is that it taught me that this thing. There's a saying that says no battle plan never lasts contact with the enemy. Something I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, because I was going to say, huh?
The idea is that, like, whatever the hell you plan in your head, you got to remember other people are involved.
Yes. Oh,
Other people are involved. And when other people are involved, things have human error.
yeah.
Okay? Even it could be me and Don.
Yeah.
Sometimes between two of us, it's human error.
Mm-hmm.
And our shot percentage be high as fuck.
That's facts. That is so true.
And
That's so true. But we make mistakes just like everybody else.
Everybody else. And I realized that I want people to get comfortable with understanding what is behind the show. Because that was part of the reason why that win was my win.
Mm-hmm.
Because I happened to wear the Making Mogul shirt that day.
Oh, for real?
And so I realized, I look back in the video as I was standing in front of the car, in front of the house, and just taking it in. I was like, wow, I'm standing here in my Making Mogul shirt.
Yup.
Doing some mogul ass shit.
Mogul shit.
Yo.
I love that.
Yeah, and it felt so good in that moment to be like, wait, nah, this is it. Like,
Yo, I'm telling you, like, it just be stuff like that that makes it all worth it. All of the stress, all of the pain, all of the tears, all of the blood, all of the heavy lifting, all of the, drop the balls that have been dropped, or whatever has happened, it makes it all worth it. And it like I said, like I was saying when the audio was out, it really be those things where it's not the biggest thing, it's not the result of all the hard work. It be that one moment where something just seems like so grand, like being in front of a dope ass Airbnb that you paid for with your business money, with a dream car of yours, like that randomly came out of nowhere because I was not part of the plan,
And it's all a tax write-off.
Exactly.
See, 'cause that's another thing that I want to speak about in the taking the losses, is learning how to take the lessons and learning how to turn those L's into W's. Because this weekend to me financially was not a good weekend, right?
Right.
I sunk a lot of good money into it just to get over there, just to make it happen, right? And so at first I was like stressing, like, damn, the people who were supposed to come didn't end up coming, and like, how are we gonna do it? But I was like, no, I'm going there for a reason. Like, I'm going there for a specific reason. And yes, I could be mad, and yes, I could feel type of way, but I could look at this as an opportunity to still make something out of it.
Yep.
And I could tell you that if I finish tying this bag closed that I walked away with this weekend, when you're right,
intentional about our words,
when I finished tying this bag closed, it would have been worth 10, 20, 100 times worth what I sunk into this weekend.
Fire.
Cause that's really what it was. It's learning that in any situation that you're in, there's always an opportunity to get something out of it.
Right.
Like, I was like, damn, we're supposed to have the Airbnb. People are supposed to fly out with us. That was the whole plan. But then I was like, you know what? No, this is a perfect opportunity for people in Vegas to meet the brand at the Airbnb, at the pool, where they could shoot. And I turned that into an opportunity.
So let's talk about the pivot. So the expectation was, because I like to, me, I like to package things.
Yeah.
So the expectation was, I'm going to go to Vegas and I'm going to rent this Airbnb. This group of people are going to,
pay for the package.
They're going to pay to come and stay at this location, come with me to these events and X, Y, and Z, and these activities and photo shoots, blah, 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 blah. All this whole thing. And that is not what happened.
Nope.
And so instead we did...
We connected and built a grassroots team in Las Vegas, brought people in, had the photo shoots, connected with... took even extra time now, because then I was able to meet with the owner of the Las Vegas Canvas.
Yes.
And I can talk about all the shit that, because we can't say it on air, because I'm going to leave things till contracts is put in. But, handle certain situations, took care of certain conversations, and then it helped me then establish myself not only with the people that I was going to bring, but the people that were in Vegas. It really helped me establish a presence on the ground in Vegas by connecting our members in Vegas to our connects, you know.
Nice.
And it felt really
Smart.
cool being like, yo, matter of fact, y'all girls in Vegas, y'all gonna get a chance to go to the Cannabis Awards that y'all wouldn't have usually had an opportunity to.
Right.
And
Because usually
represent
bring people from New York.
from
with
New
you.
York with me. Last year it was
Wow.
everybody was from New York, or we had somebody from Virginia, but there was nobody from Vegas.
Interesting.
But this year I was in Vegas with people from Vegas,
Fire.
you know. So now the bag is even bigger because now I created relationships there that I can hand over to that team to take care of.
Right. And you know what I've heard before? I've heard that I was in Atlanta, and I don't remember who I was talking to out there, but whoever I was speaking to, they were like, they was telling me and my uncle, you know, people come out here and they think that they can just jump and just do something. Like, oh, I could just have a show, or oh, I could just do some big event or whatever, and the people will support me because I'm not where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not how it works. You
not how it
have
works
to
at all.
create the connections, and you have to network, and you have to meet people. My thing is, if I ever, well, when I do a show in Atlanta, I'm gonna reach out to people that I know in Atlanta and partner with them,
Yeah, that's
because
what the fuck you do.
what am I coming out there trying to just, oh yeah, I'm having Celebs of Fashion in Atlanta, but I'm not working
I'm
with
not working
anybody
with nobody
from
in
there.
Atlanta. Like, so that how people in Atlanta gonna know? They're just
Exactly.
gonna,
I'm gonna just
hey,
post it on
stranger.
Instagram. Like,
Hey,
okay.
stranger, I'm gonna show up to your event and give you all support because, like,
Because you exist.
because you exist, and now you are now in my sphere, and wow, you're new and shiny. Like,
Right.
like,
It don't work that way.
another loss to talk about. This year we're not gonna be doing the Miami trip. I decided not to do it this
okay.
week
Okay.
because our partners down there told us that it wouldn't be feasible,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you know what? You're right.
So listen.
I have certain things. I'm
Y'all the
doing
ones
here
there.
right
If you
now.
telling me
If
no,
you telling me it's
then
hot,
I believe
then
you.
I cannot force it. I should
Right.
not go out there and force the connections. Again, it's gonna be there every year. I've been to Rolling Loud too many times to the point where I didn't even feel like it was a loss to not go because I've been fucking festival hopping,
Yeah, that's fact.
and so it was just like, okay. And then on top of that, then the Las Vegas Cannabis Awards was a music festival, and so I went to my music festival for the year. So
Right.
I got it out the system anyway, and so it was just like realizing, because I could have took that L and been stubborn and was like, nah, I want to
True.
do it, da 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 da. And it's crazy because people are hitting me up now. It actually helped, not doing it helped me see how strong the brand was, that people are like, yo, wait, Miami's coming up next week. Yo, VJ, you got something happening? Yo, VJ, what's
Right.
happening? Yo, Cannabis, what's happening? I'm like, oh, y'all really fuck with this. Oh, so y'all gonna be
Fire.
tight if we not. So now I know I'm gonna do New York serious, you know? And again, it's about the pivot. Like, I like to relate everything to sports because sports is the closest visual representation of how things get in your way, like in the moment. Like, I love basketball specifically. Football is more business minded because you can plan every step. Like, the play happens, whether good or bad, whether somebody fumbled the bag, as long as that play is dead, you can get to the next plays. And so I like football in terms of like discussing business plans, but I like basketball in terms of understanding the mechanics of business.
Okay.
Cause basketball, you could be going down the court, and then all of a sudden the momentum is gone, and you got to get back on defense.
Right.
You got to get back. Or they're gonna keep scoring on you. You got to get back on defense. You can't stop and just be like, oh no. And then the day is gonna happen. Days gonna keep getting by. Other people who are doing your lane is gonna keep capitalizing on what's happening.
Yeah.
And so you got to get back on your spot. You got to, if somebody gets in your way left, you got to pivot right. If somebody steps up, step back. Realize that something is happening. If somebody's in your way, pass the ball. Pass the ball. You know, build a team and pass the ball, because you got to realize that when you go into success, when you're really trying to get to wherever it is that you really want to get to, and yes, there are very personal achievements, but most of the time you got to work with a team. Like,
Yeah.
even being a sports player and you want to be the best, LeBron James needs 11 other players on his squad to make sure that he wins a championship.
Yeah.
Okay? It just happens. In football, it's even worse. You need 54 to, I don't remember how much people on a football team. It's a lot of people.
bro.
It's a whole squad, and everybody has their job to do. And if people are not doing their job, One, you're gonna see a lot more failures, and that's one of the lessons I had to learn. Is I cannot be trying to win with a team that can't win. That's a big part of it, is understanding who your team is and understanding who yourself is as a leader.
And also understand, big, heavy on the understanding yourself as a leader. But it's also definitely about knowing when to let that team go or let people from that team go. I find that it takes a lot for me to let people go.
Yeah, I get attached to people.
Yeah, I would say I get attached, but I just give people so many chances.
That's what it is. I get attached to their potential. That's what it is. I see someone, I see what they can put in, I see the few times they do it, and I'm like, I know you're capable.
The few times is real.
I know you're capable. But like, life is at a space now where I had to learn that lesson. Like, and it's a lesson that I'm moving so fast at this point, like theoretically, that like I can't do that no more.
Right.
Because I either stop and slow this entire ship that I've been building and moving and putting so much momentum forward to keep up with that person that has nothing going in terms of compared to not nothing going to them, but like compared to the movement I'm moving at.
Right. Some people just are not compatible with your vision.
Yeah, they're not built for your journey right now.
Right, or they grow out of it. Because you got to realize some people come in, they're so thirsty, they're so hungry, they're so excited about the new opportunity. And then they get to know you, or they get to know your business, or they get to know how you are as a leader, and
they just get comfortable.
They get very comfortable, and you know people tend to not care as much about things that are not theirs. And it's like, that's why I spend so much time in Dime Life trying to give away. I give. I'm like, this is our thing.
Yep.
Give me your ideas. Let's curate this together. Like, you got a brand. You see how many times first Beach Fest I brought in Scarlett's brand. Like, she was working for us or with us as you know, the production manager, but you know,
collaboration.
Like I was like, okay, take this opportunity to launch launch what you're doing, or to expand parts of what you're doing. And I did that with a lot of the team. And you know, not everybody's grateful, or those type of things are not for everybody, and that's cool. But you really just have to know when it's somebody's time.
Yep. I learned that too the hard way, because again, that's one of the lessons you really have to learn, and it's with people and it's with things. Everything is in your life for a season.
Yes.
Especially on your road to success. Like, there's something greater for you out there. Right. That's the whole point of why you believe in what you believe in. That there's something greater than what exists in your field of vision right now. And that's what you achieve, and that's what you manifest, and that's what you put your energy to. And so you have to realize that you have to let go of the things you have in front of you to grab on to that thing, that new thing. And there's going to be a lot of things in the middle, like ladders. Like, it's a perfect thing. You want to get to the top of the ladder. And so you cannot at any point get stuck holding on to one rung. Like, you know, like no matter how nice that rung may feel, no matter if it says a ledge, it might feel good, you could sit on it. Like, you got to keep taking those next steps. You cannot get comfortable sitting on this ledge, because you know, damn, you made it kind of high, and now we comfortable here, and you gotta go. You gotta keep going.
A couple of them may be broken. A couple of them may have some splinters. A couple of them may be, you know, not perfect. But
and the couple of them on the other side might be comfortable. The couple of them might feel real nice.
But you gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going, and that means you gotta learn that art of detachment. And it's hard, especially in business, especially in a passionate field. I understand if you're doing business, that's just critical numbers. But if you're doing something in your passionate field, it's hard to just let go, you know, of certain things. But you got to reach that certain balance, because that is really what the journey is finding the balance. Because you and I have clocked hours which probably at this point equals days or maybe weeks of running our heads around at an event, literally running back and forth,
Yes.
solving shit.
Right.
Like hours and hours and hours of days and days and days. We can attest to watching each other and doing it ourselves over and over and over and over and over. And at a certain point, I will say, at least for myself, there's a certain balance that I've found in putting out those fires, in being the person that's like, all right, I'm moving. Like, there's a certain rhythm I have in taking care of it now that I didn't have before, because I know from experience, all right, it's an hour before the check-in. Of course, 8 people are late, which means that this person got to go to the store. All right, we didn't get X, Y, and Z, but we have X, Y, and Z, and so we can set up. All right, that means that I have X amount of time until this happens, which means I can do. And all of those things I would have never known in the beginning.
Yeah,
I would have never
you're anticipating the things that are going to go wrong.
I would have never known. Down to my own lateness, I'd be knowing, like, all right, I need to book the venue 2 hours in advance because I know I'm going to miss at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes because I'm not going to get there on time because I didn't get everything I need to get or I prepared everything, but now I'm going to add extra time for me. Like, you know, you prepare, you build around, and you build a human business that knows who you're working with, and it's not a fantasy anymore. It's not, oh yeah, I just want it to be all perfect. 9 o'clock on the dot, we start, and at 9:05 he goes, like, nope.
Yeah, I think that's
might
why
not go that way.
Right.
And be prepared, bro.
I think for me, that's why I build out around my lateness. I have horrible time issues. I've gotten better over time, but my team knows that I'm gonna be late. Like, I think most of the people on my team have changed the time on me or sent an email with a different time frame or told me that a meeting was at a certain time because they knew that I was gonna be late. And so, like, I built that understanding of myself into our shows. So that's why, like, call time is always 3 or 4 p.m. The doors don't open till 6, but you're not going to see a model until 8. That is 4 hours for everything to go wrong because we always start on time.
Every time.
My shows do not run late, bro. We don't. But you know what? It's that adaptability. Adaptability though. Yeah. Because I've watched people make amazing platforms out of understanding the logistics of people's timing. Like V Henny, shout out to V Henny. I love her. I haven't spoken to her in a while. I gotta reach out.
You should have her on the show.
Oh yeah, we definitely need her on the show.
Yeah.
She
because she's
her shows
soon.
For a long time. She's moving.
Yeah.
Oh snap!
I realized that.
I definitely gotta hit her up then. Yeah, like her shows started like she started the beginning time would be like 9 p.m. Whereas everybody else's shows like 6, 7 start time, doors open at her doors were opening at 9 p.m. Because she just understood that people were going to be late. When I tell you I would get to her events at like 9:30, 10 o'clock packed already. But that's because everybody done went out, they got their drinks, they did whatever they doing, they go to the show because that's where they supposed to be at, and everybody's on time.
You know what's crazy? So I always put my doors open at 7, show starts at 8.
Yeah.
Because I knew the show was going to start by 9.
Right. Exactly, that too.
Every time, because I knew the show was going to start by 9. If I got lucky, I started at 8:30.
See?
If I had a good enough crowd, I would start at 8:30. But every time, and that 8 to 8:30 minute time was just DJ set.
Right.
Because I knew everything was going to go wrong.
And technically, you had something going on starting at 8 o'clock anyway, yeah, so you were running on time.
Yeah. So my event started on time. The performances didn't start at that time. I never told anyone what time performances.
Exactly.
Because I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Yep.
Just like I learned from all the failures of putting enough artists. Oh, this artist is going to go first. You're going to go second. You're going to go third. I don't ever tell an artist what slot they have now. You're going to learn when you get there.
Yo,
because you're not gonna argue with me that you told your people that you're going on at 8:30,
Right.
and so you thought you could show up at 8:15, knowing that you was gonna go on 8:30, and now the person that was supposed to go in before you didn't show up, and now your slot got moved, but you're not here, and all your people are here, and now everything is no, we're not doing that again.
I cannot.
We're not doing that again. So I tell all everybody's people that the show starts at 8. Whatever time you decide to show up is your problem. Whenever y'all people show up, that's your problem.
Listen, I
Because I
started
know by
telling
9
people.
o'clock, my show is rocking, and I'm out the door by 12.
Yes.
That's all.
That's what I be planning for, the time that I'm gonna leave, because I be tired.
And that's another thing that I learned from failure is to work from the goal backwards.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish.
I agree.
That's a fact in life. I've gotten through so many events that in the middle it completely broke down. And we could have went home. We could have been like, damn, we lost it. But every single time I was like, no, fuck that. We have time, we have energy, we have the will to survive, and we made a fucking night out of it.
Yes.
And every single time, those people that stayed, no matter, just like this weekend, I could have quit. I could have been like, damn. I even had some people talk to me and was like, I talked to them, I'm thinking they're going to motivate me to, knowing me, the guy that don't give up, is like, nah, bro, you should have done this, you should have canceled, or this, or this. And I'm like, nah, I can't talk to you right now. Sorry.
Right.
Let me get into this. Let me really focus. And I really turn it around, yo. Turn it around and make that fourth quarter click. And by the end of the game, that's when you know, because you ended. You walked away from that finish line. And you made something out of it. And those people who was a part of, that's why, like, yo, I'm so happy, because, like, one of the girls from Vegas, she wasn't even from Vegas, from New York. She was supposed to come on the trip. She ended up not booking with us because somebody else booked her vacation.
Oh.
Right? Somebody else booked her stuff. She was out there in Vegas. That person then flopped on her birthday, which was like the Friday of our trip. Dang. Flopped on her, did a whole bunch of stuff, and she was like completely in her bag. I was like, yo, pull up. We'll figure out the rest of this package together. You'll, and run with us.
Yeah.
By the end of it, she's like, thank you so much. I had the most amazing birthday.
Oh.
This shit was amazing. I made so much connection. She even found us a photographer out there. Now we have a photographer in Vegas to do shoots. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, see, look at that. I could have been mad. I could have been like, oh, you didn't want to book it before, so forget it.
Yes.
No.
Oh my gosh. Please tell them, yo, people, y'all gotta take all this emotion out of business, bro.
For real, you gotta take emotion out of business.
Somebody don't like you today.
That's
their business.
Like
yeah, because it's not even about liking you. Who cares? I don't care. Yo, let me tell you something. I'll be the first person to tell you, I'm not a bitch. I'm just very... Like, when it comes to my business, I'm about my shit, period.
That's a fact.
And can't nobody tell me anything, because I know who I am, and I know what I do, and I know what I stand for. You feel me? And I know my vision. So at the end of the day, anybody that has a problem with me has a problem with themselves, because I don't give problems to nobody. I'm on my business. Exactly. I'm on my business. I stay over to the side, stay out the way. I start my businesses. I'm up to 4, like I'm handling what I need to handle on my end. But anybody that got an issue with Dom got an issue with probably somebody that I worked with, and they think that is a representation of who I am or something like that, because they had a bad experience. To be honest, I don't care, because I probably spent some time trying to clear that up. But my thing is, like, our main point here is that you need to find the wins in your losses. VJ took what could have been a bad situation and a very, like, negative or just like less than ideal situation, and turned it into a positive, and turned it into an experience that more people than just him will remember, and that's important. Everything that we stand for, whether he says it or not, is about the experience. You have to make sure that everything you do and everything you stand for is about the experience. Caring too much what people think is not a bad thing, but it depends on
How you use it.
how you use it. People are out here like, oh, well, they didn't like this thing, but F them because no, like really listen to the feedback that somebody gives on your event.
Oh, I want to touch on that last thing real quick. 'Cause
Yeah,
I really
'cause
want
we
to touch
gotta
on that
go.
real quick.
Go ahead.
And that's a part of failure too, is understanding that everybody's perspective is not going to be your perspective,
Yes.
and learning from it in a way that takes your feelings and your ego out of it. So last year we went to Vegas, and I had a similar less than ideal situation, but it was more ideal than this one. Like, we had people go out with us, we made it work, we turned it into a situation, and then by the end, some people gave less than ideal feedback. Right?
Okay.
And at first I took it really like, wow, I bust my ass, like I did all of this, like I really gave of myself, and like given what I was working with, like, the fact that somebody turned around. But I'm like, you know what? No. Let me listen to it. Let me hear the situation. Let me understand that is somebody else's experience, and take it as a way to do better.
Yes.
And they was like, yo, I feel like we should have done X, Y, and Z. And so this year, I built it into the package. I was like, look, now we got a big ass Airbnb with a pool that's close, with this, with that.
No bunk
That's
beds.
why and that. No, we didn't have no bunk beds last year, but
I know.
But like,
It's just big
it was
for
just,
me.
no bunk beds, no nothing. Everybody, there was more beds than necessary.
Right.
I literally had beds that I didn't even like. I have beds that I didn't even like, that weren't even touched at this point. Like,
Hilarious.
so like, we made sure that I listened to that feedback. I could have been mad. I could have been like, oh well, if that's how you feel, then don't come again. Like, no. No,
business people
you
like that.
showed me the quality that I should bring, and so I got it there. I got it there. Now nobody else can say anything, and that's the real lesson right there.
Yeah.
Take your L's, take whatever the situation is, learn the lesson from it, and build, because that's how you really get to success. And that's how I was standing there at the end of the trip, looking at that beautiful pool with that fucking Mustang that I was about to rip up the streets in my Making Mogul shirt, and really feeling like a true mogul, because I knew at the end of the day, I adjusted, I pivoted, and I found a win.
All right. And that's a word, y'all.
That's game, baby.
So, yeah, I mean, listen, I hope you learned something. I heard you caught something that pertains to you or your situation, and maybe it doesn't, and maybe it does. But make sure y'all follow us on Instagram, The Making Moguls Show. You can follow me on the gram as well, at Dime Smith. That's Dime with a Y, not an I.
And it's Vijano, VE_JANO. I mean, there's no other Vijano. If you miss me, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, we're here every Monday. We live, and it's either you're gonna win with us or you're gonna watch us win.
Are you gonna watch
Because when we shoot,
we don't miss.
and that's a fact.
Yo, make sure y'all stay tapped in. We got Beach Fest with Dom Life and Cannon Baddies on the way.
Beach Fest is on the way, July 31st. Yo, it's
We
gonna...
outside.
Yeah, we all the way outside, Coney Island, right?
Yes.
Actually, yeah, I gotta talk to you about that. I gotta talk to you about that.
Yeah.
Because some...
yeah. Facts. Yeah, we might do that instead
we're not
because
even gonna spill into this tea. We gonna,
Parks Department trying to front on a permit, but
so
it's cool. We gonna make it happen.
we're gonna make it happen. Beach Fest.
Regardless.
Stay tapped in. I mean, if you don't see us, it's because either Instagram don't want you to see us, it's because you didn't try that hard. Because
Right. Facts.
we let everything be known through our channels. Sign up, get notified, get tapped in, get in tune, and grow.
Yes, and make sure you stay tuned in. Y'all already know because I tell y'all every week, but stay tuned in. My homegirl Kanika shows up next, and she got the one and only L Banks. So
she got L Banks?
Yes.
L Banks is back, baby.
I'll be tapped in, because
Yeah.
maybe she gonna say something that I ain't hear her say before.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. Y'all need to stay here, and we out. See you next week.
See you next week.